Hello pedal people. I recently purchased the MI Audio Super Crunch Box pedal and got to know it, and I noticed that it was a pretty complex pedal and kind of multi-dimensional, so you can get all kinds of sound out of it. It's not just a Marshall in a box pedal. So that's why I thought I'd make this video and share my understanding of the pedal with you. I hope this video will be useful for current owners of the pedal and people possibly considering buying one. And in my case, I originally purchased a Mooer Cruncher that's kind of based on this pedal. Some people might call it a rip-off, but actually it's not, as you will soon see. I'll compare it in the end. You'll see that this pedal, the real one, is much more than that. Okay, let's get on with it. This was originally introduced in 2006 as the original, just a simple version that provided kind of the one sound with tone, gain and volume control. And subsequently it was further developed into a Super Crunch Box that brought further features into the pedal, and now just recently the Super Crunch Box version 2. In this video I'm going to go all the features of the pedal, all the controls, different types of sound, and I'll be using the Kemper profiler as an amp. And the basic profile I'm gonna be using is a 2-rock profile. I think that's a well-balanced amp that takes pedals very well, so it's a good basis for demonstrating this pedal. I'll also show how it works or try to tune it with other types of amps, a Fender type or a Fender amp or a profile and a Marshall profile. So you'll hear how the pedal works and see kind of the genius in the pedal, how you can match it with different kinds of amps. Okay, let's start. The controls are as follows. First you have your typical volume and gain control, and then you have a distortion or clipping mode control. The leftmost position is the original Crunch Box mode. The middle position is called open. It's got more headroom, it's not as compressed, and you can use the guitar volume control with that, but I'll show you that later. And then the rightmost position, as you can hear, it's a three-way switch. It's called compressed, and you'll get that also later when I show it to you. With that you can get like singing lead tones. It makes your guitar more violin-like stuff. The control below it, and at this point I need to know that they've kind of between the versions they mixed up the controls. These two have switched places. Anyways, the lower control in this pedal, this new model, is called gain mode. Gain mode switch, and here the order is also a little bit weird. The center position is the normal Crunch Box mode, kind of the original Crunch Box thing. The leftmost position is called low gain, and on the right we have mid gain. And the leftmost position is new in this pedal, as well as are these three tone controls or the tone stack: high, mid, low. Then you have the presence control. The presence control is used to match the pedal with different kinds of amps. So if your amp is very harsh and sharp, you want to turn down the presence control. Anyways, let's turn on the pedal. In this mode you probably want to have the gain somewhere in this region, not more than this. It's kind of too much. I would put it somewhere maybe there. Okay. This is how it sounds. Excuse me my playing, I'm not playing anything fancy, just trying to show you the sound. Now if I roll the volume back, I can roll it somewhat back, but now you can already hear that it's going kind of thin. This is not a usable sound. Now it goes unusable. So you can tune the distortion just a little bit with volume control, but that's not the idea of this. So I'll turn it a little bit down, full volume, bridge humbucker. There. In lower gain settings, it doesn't sound so nice. Maybe I'll add a little bit. It's at least for me it doesn't work. So it works. It kind of has one sound between these settings. Let's try some high. There's some lead stop. Okay, this was one more point. As you can see, I've used the presence control to match it a little bit to the amp. At least to my taste, it was if I put it, you want to start it in the middle. A little bit too sharp, so you take the presence just a little bit down to your taste. Anyways, this is the original Crunch Box mode. Now, let's go to the second mode, and I find this very interesting. And also, depending on the mode, these controls, the gain amount varies greatly as well as the distortion. You can achieve approximately the same amount of distortion with each mode, but you have to really put this, you can't just like flick the switch, you have to adjust these two. So, now I have it in the open mode, and in the middle, the original Crunch Box gain amount. As you can see, the amp there's some AC/DC. You can really get into AC/DC territory. I'll use the volume control. Volume control a little bit. Then volume control all the way up. So it immediately becomes more alive. I like this better, way better. Okay, let's go on with the game mode switch. This is the original Crunch Box mode. The next mode that came with the Super Crunch Box, not this version 2, but the previous version, is the mid gain mode, which is confusingly on the right. Now I'm in the mid gain mode. A little bit more volume. Now it's more alive again. Let's try the same riff. It's more like a hard rock thing. More gain. Neck pickup. Let's roll the volume back. Maybe too much gain there. I'm playing the same song, but it gives you an idea of this. So you get a very nice, like lively, real amp-like tone. Okay, then what is new in this pedal is the low gain mode. It's even more like transparent and dynamic. And this is also the loudest mode. If you can want to push your amp, you can use this mode. And the designer stated that this new mode was actually the reason for adding these three tone controls. He said that in this mode, if you put it in the low gain mode, as you heard me just playing, it's a little bit harsh and not enough bass. So what he recommended is to bring the treble and high a little bit down like this, and the lows and the mids just a notch up like this. Too much. So this is the reason they added the tone controls. More gain. Full gain. Now it's like a real amp. Here it's very dynamic. Okay, so this is the kind of the idea in these modes. Very nice, open kind of drive type of sound. Then we get into the third mode on the top. I will not go through all these combinations. It's 3x3, so it's 9 combinations. You can try them out, but this is the basic idea. And the third mode, as you can see, the volume level changed drastically. I'll put it into normal in here. Bring the volume up, gain down. Sorry about that. Let's put these back. Okay, this is the singing type of sound. These are the old songs. I'll put some, let's see if I have some delay there. Okay, how about this? Lot of sustain. So you'll get this kind of singing violin-like tone. You'll get the point. That was Michael Lee Firkis, very great player. Kind of 90s tone. Joe Satriani, Michael Lee Firkins, Stevie Vai, all those guys. Great tone. So I think that wraps it up. So you have, in my opinion, you have in effect 3 pedals in one here. You get a bluesy, open, crunchy type of thing, and you get this leading, singing tones, and then you get the Marshall-y, like hard rock stuff. Great pedal. Hope this information for you. Hey, one more thing I have to, yes, I'll compare it to this one. Just a second, I'll cut the video. Let's compare the Super Crunch Box to the Mooer Cruncher that is inspired by this pedal. It's in no way a copy of this. This pedal, Cruncher, has kind of just one sound, and this has a lot of different sounds. As I just showed you, it has a lot of different sounds. This costs around 50 euros, maybe. This is 160. This is the original, and it's got plenty of sounds. So they're not really competitors. And I originally bought this Cruncher, and I was so happy with it that I decided to buy the original. Maybe you should do it too if you own the Cruncher. Anyways, I tried to match the settings so that they sound somewhat similar. Here's the Crunch Box first. In the original setting, because this cannot imitate the other settings. And I have the clip mode in the mid-gain position, because I think that's closest to what the Cruncher is trying to do. And Cruncher was designed before this new version was introduced, so they didn't have the low gain mode anyways. So. Okay, then to the smoke on the water part. Let's see. How about it? Works pretty well, or actually works great. Anyways, crappy playing. Great sound. Let's go to the Cruncher. It has its own unique sound. It's not as bright. You'll hear it. Maybe less alive. It's somewhere in between the low gain mode and the normal Crunch Box mode. This is the normal Crunch Box mode. I have to adjust these knobs. Let's see. This is more compressed than this one. So it's somewhere in between. It's not the same. Anyways, you got the idea. Then about the Cruncher, again, this is not really usable beyond 12 o'clock, and it's also, as you can see, it weirdly leaks through the clean sound with zero gain. So it kind of has this clean, bassy, dark sound on the background. Then it mixes the distortion stuff on top of it. More gain. Pretty articulate and good sound. Let's try the AC/DC stuff I was playing earlier. Let's back the volume. More. Crappy playing. Anyways, you can back the volume, same thing as with the Crunch Box. You can back the volume somewhat, but it's not really usable anymore. You can back it just a little bit. Let's have it somewhere. Same songs, but this would be a good setting to use. Maybe a notch more. Let's try the solo part. You got the idea. Anyways, this pedal is highly recommended. It's cheap. It has this one sound you can use. So if you like that, and it doesn't take much space on your pedal board. Or get both. This is a totally different machine. Okay, I think that wraps up. Well, one more thing. Let's try it with another amplifier or another amplifier profile. This one is Marshall JTM 145-1 Michal Britt's profile, so these are pretty good ones. Anyways, the clean sound is as follows. Very familiar Marshall clean. Or Marshall type of amp. Let's try. Now I have it in the normal classic Super Crunch Box mode, but then mid-gain. As you can see, it's pretty honky. Not very pleasant. So now this is where the EQ comes in, and this is where this pedal is different from a lot of other pedals, that you can really match it to your amp. Let's try it. I didn't try it before. So I would take the mid down a bit because more bass. Maybe something like that. Let's try it. Too harsh. Maybe still a little bit harsh. Backing down. Getting better. It doesn't. Marshall, in my opinion, is not that great with this kind of pedal. Tube screamer and stuff like that works much better. But anyways, you get the idea. You can tune this. And the idea might be that you'll match these to your amp, and then you kind of let them be. And you should be fine with all except for the low gain position. Let's try the cruncher with the Marshall. Okay, you can immediately see that the cruncher doesn't have these controls, so this doesn't really work with the Marshall. You can't get it to work. In my opinion, there's something wrong with it. It doesn't work. But the 2-rock I used earlier, it's a great balanced amp, and this works great with it. Anyways, I guess this wraps up the long how-to or review or whatever of this pedal. Please post some comments or questions if you want to, and press the thumbs up button if you liked the video or found it useful, so that other people can find it too. Thank you. One more useful mode I found. As a late addition, I just was playing a little bit more with the pedal, and I found out that when you put this top switch to the original Crunch Box mode and put this to the new mode, this is the low gain mode, so that's just the mode that didn't exist in the previous versions. When you put it there, you'll end up, I'm still using the PRS Custom 24 with humbuckers. Now I'm using the neck pickup. As you can see, we go through Stevie Ray territory. quite nice. You have that sharp bite, kind of Strat-like sound even with this PRS. Let's put more gain, let's see what happens. Hendrixy. Sorry about my playing, it's not very creative, but playing the same songs. Ah, we're getting pretty close there. Ah, too much. It's not alive anymore. There. Very nice. So this is a real wonder box. All kinds of sounds. Sadly, you have just one copy of this, so maybe you should buy multiple copies and tune the sounds. Okay, that was one more mode. See ya.